honorables, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to begin this afternoon session in accordance to our program, Messages from Permanent Delegations to UNESCO. So, I would like to call upon following mentioned member states to UNESCO, ambassadors or deputy ambassadors who are here in this hall to come and take a seat in this podium. First of all, I would like to call upon Mr. Masek David, Deputy Permanent Delegate, Permanent Delegation of the Kingdom of Cambodia to UNESCO. Next, I would like to call upon Mr. Pei Yong, Deputy Director of General Research Department, Beijing, China. In the third, I would like to call upon Her Excellency Mrs. Baswati Mukherjee, Ambassador, Permanent Delegate, Permanent Delegation of India to UNESCO. Next, I would like to call upon His Excellency Seiichi Kondo, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary, Permanent Delegation of Japan to UNESCO. Next, I would like to call upon His Excellency Mr. Ju Chul-ki, Permanent Delegation of the Republic of Korea to UNESCO. Next, I would like to call upon His Excellency Mr. Sutsakron Patamwon, Permanent Delegation of Lao People Democratic Republic of UNESCO. Next, I would like to call upon His Excellency Mr. Ratna Basaria Altangaral, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Mongolia to France and Permanent Delegation of Mongolia to UNESCO. Next, I would like to call upon His Excellency Wu Sao Hua Min, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Union of Myanmar to France, Permanent Delegation of the Union of Myanmar to UNESCO. Next, I would like to call upon His Excellency Mr. Prajwalla S.J.B. Rana, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Nepal to France, Permanent Delegation of the Kingdom of Nepal to UNESCO. Next, I would like to call upon Her Excellency Mrs. Chitrangani Vagishwara, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Sri Lanka to France, Permanent Delegation of Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka to UNESCO. You can replace my point. Yeah. Next, I would like to call upon His Excellency Mr. Tana Duangratana, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Kingdom of Thailand to France, Permanent Delegation of Thailand to UNESCO. Last, I would like to call upon His Excellency Mr. Wu Duk Tam, Ambassador, Permanent Delegation of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam to UNESCO. I would like to invite Most Venerable C. Ching Kung, the President of Pure Land Learning College of Australia, to take podium here. Please. Your Excellencies, most venerable ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor for me to welcome you all to this historical celebration of the 2550th anniversary of the Buddha at UNESCO. Buddha, as a great humanist, has been contributed not only to the way of enlightenment but also to all area of human progress. He especially pointed out human weakness and solutions for day-to-day life issues. Your Excellencies, to make success this event, your contribution we greatly appreciated, and your presence here encourage us and make differences. Therefore, I would like to hear from member states from 12 countries who have collaborated with us to very successfully organize this event since yesterday. We had a very rich debate, very rich 2 keynote speeches, and very colorful cultural event last night. Since we organized this event, you have been very warmly welcomed the program and cooperated and collaborated with us to have this event such a great success. With this remark, first of all, I would like to invite Mr. Mesket David, Deputy Permanent Delegate, Permanent Delegation of Kingdom of Cambodia to UNESCO. Please, Mr. David, place for you now.
Monsieur le Président, Monsieur le Directeur Général, très vénérable, Excellences, Mesdames, Mesdemoiselles, Messieurs, pour célébrer cette 2550e anniversaire de notre Maître à tous, permettez-moi de débuter en exprimant ma certitude que la réunion d'esprit qui se rassemble ici mettra à l'honneur la maison de la culture qu'incarne l'UNESCO en donnant un élan nouveau pour bâtir et créer un nouvel esprit conforme aux paroles du bienheureux. C'est ce que nous espérons tous. C'est en cette exceptionnelle occasion qu'au nom du Royaume du Cambodge, je tenais à vous exprimer à vous, Monsieur le Président, Monsieur le Directeur Général et au comité organisateur, mes plus vifs et sincères remerciements ainsi que mes très chaleureuses félicitations pour cette excellente initiative et pour avoir permis au Cambodge de participer pleinement à cette nouvelle communion bouddhiste. Nous nous félicitons et réjouissons d'être présents parmi vous en ce jour béni. Nous n'avons pas besoin de vous rappeler ce qu'a enduré le Cambodge durant près de 30 ans de guerre et de massacres. Pour autant, notre peuple s'est efforcé de ne jamais perdre la foi dans l'enseignement du bienheureux. Aujourd'hui, le bouddhisme khmer est en pleine renaissance. Des pagodes se construisent chaque jour dans tout le pays. C'est la preuve d'un attachement affirmé de notre peuple à l'enseignement du Maître qui remonte très loin au XIIIe siècle de notre ère. C'est le grand roi khmer Jayavarman VII qui fut le premier à introduire le bouddhisme au Cambodge. Par le sourire des visages des tours du Bayonne, il a réussi à placer le royaume et son règne sous l'égide du sourire de Lokeshvara, compatissant, qui se penche sur les réalités humaines de son royaume en plaçant ses actions sous l'inspiration de l'éthique du bouddhisme. Une centaine d'hôpitaux ont également été construits sous son règne et placés sous l'invocation du Bouddha guérisseur, prouvant en cela qu'il avait du bouddhisme une conception active, salvatrice, orientée vers le mieux-être du royaume. Très tôt donc, le Cambodge, à travers son plus grand roi, a montré que les préceptes du Bouddha pouvaient être mis en œuvre dans le quotidien de l'homme et que si celui-ci a compris les causes du mal, il connaît également les moyens de s'en extraire. Monsieur le Président, Excellences, de nos jours, avec l'ouverture au monde et la mondialisation, le Cambodge rencontre de plus en plus les mêmes problèmes que les autres pays. La délinquance, la violence au quotidien, les nouvelles maladies comme le fléau du sida, la prostitution, et j'en oublie. C'est pourquoi le Cambodge, en étroite association avec son clergé bouddhique, tente de remédier aux blessures de l'âme humaine par une éducation axée sur les préceptes bouddhiques de la tolérance, de la compassion et de la paix. Nous considérons que même si le propre de la condition humaine est de se voir imposer des limites, il est aussi de notre devoir de chercher à les dépasser en inscrivant notre action dans la durée. Le Cambodge pense que les maux de la société actuelle nécessitent d'abord le rétablissement des liens, liens avec l'autre, avec soi-même, mais surtout avec la nature. C'est pourquoi, à travers les enseignements du Bouddha, le Cambodge, conscient des défis que fait face notre société, opte résolument sur le développement durable et la préservation de la paix civile. Mon pays tente de redonner à ses citoyens un espace et un temps qui soient ceux de l'homme et sa place dans le monde pris dans sa totalité conformément à notre tradition bouddhiste séculaire. Pour finir, le Cambodge espère que cette 2550e anniversaire marquera l'éveil d'une nouvelle conscience, d'une communauté de destin dans le monde bouddhique et au-delà. Nous espérons qu'une énergie nouvelle sortira de nos réflexions et dépassera chacun d'entre nous et chacun de nos pays pour bâtir un monde plus harmonieux. Je tenais enfin à vous adresser au nom de mon pays mes meilleurs vœux de succès dans vos travaux. Je vous remercie de votre attention.
Thank you very much for Cambodia. Next, I would like to call upon Mr. Pei Yong, Deputy Director of Gender Relations Research Department, State Administration for Religious Affairs, the People's Republic of China. Mr. Pei Yong, this is the floor for you now.
尊敬的主席先生，尊敬的净空老法师，尊敬的联合国教科文组织领导人，女士们、先生们，有机会来到巴黎，来到联合国教科文组织总部，与来自世界各地各宗教的朋友们共同进行跨文化、跨宗教对话，共同为建设和谐世界寻求解决方案，我深感荣幸。在此， 我仅代表中国国家宗教局对大会的邀请表示衷心的感谢，并预祝会议取得丰硕成果。德国著名神学家汉斯昆有一句名言：“没有各宗教之间的对话与沟通，诸教之间很难达到和平与友好；而诸教之间若不能和平相处，诸国之间亦不可能和平相处或安全共存。建设和谐世界， 维护世界和平具有非常重要的现实意义，是国际社会的普遍愿望和共同诉求。而加强宗教之间的对话和相互理解，促进和平文化的教育，是实现文明和谐、世界和平的重要支撑。和谐的世界需要和谐的宗教，很多国家和国际组织都在为此进行不懈努力。 据我所知，仅今年就分别在俄罗斯、日本、哈萨克斯坦召开了多个旨在推动宗教对话、促进世界和平的国际宗教会议。上述的这些努力，都已经并持续为促进世界和谐发挥着积极作用。目前最新的召开的旨在促进多元宗教对话 和世界和平的会议，就是我们今天在巴黎召开的这个会议。中国作为和谐世界的主要倡导者， 一直对此类对建设和谐世界具有积极意义的活动给予高度重视。中国宗教界广泛的、积极的参与其中，中国政府及有关部门也给予了大力的支持。去年，中国领导人胡锦涛主席在联合国大会上提出了共建一个持久和平、共同繁荣的和谐世界的主张。温家宝总理在巴黎综合理工大学发表了题为“尊重不同文明，共建和谐世界”的讲演，都在国际社会引起很大反响。中国宗教界也举办了旨在促进世界和谐的宗教论坛，这就是今年4月由中华宗教文化交流协会和中国佛教协会在中国杭州举办的首届世界佛教论坛。论坛的主题就是“和谐世界从新开始”，目的是团结全世界的佛教徒，为建设和谐世界、促进世界和平提供佛教的主张和办法。净空老法师也参加了这次会议，并在大会上做了重要的发言。今天巴黎会议的主题也与此完全一致。和谐世界是我们的努力方向，重新开始是我们迈向和谐的出发点。包括佛教在内的各种宗教无不认为，没有内心的和平，就没有外在世界的和平。因此，和平文化的教育至关重要。当前，中国政府正在致力于对内构建和谐社会，对外共建和谐世界。中国各宗教也正在进一步为构建和谐社会努力发挥作用，努力将本宗教建成和谐的宗教，建成促进和谐的宗教。据我所知，中国道教界正在酝酿明年举办主题为“和谐世界以道相通”的国际道德经论坛。中国基督教界和伊斯兰教界也在准备向世界介绍中国基督教与伊斯兰教和谐共存的东方模式。在促进宗教间互尊、对话、和睦方面，许多宗教领袖都做出了表率，净空老法师就是其中具有代表性的一位。关于多元宗教的对话以及宗教和睦的达成，我认为最重要的应该把握以下2点：一是要强调平等共尊；二是一定不要将某种邪恶的行为，如恐怖主义，与特定的宗教挂钩。今天，我们是因为祭奠佛陀诞生的因缘而相聚在一起。佛教有着深厚的和谐与和平的传统。佛教理应在推动宗教和睦与世界和谐中敢为天下先。首届世界佛教论坛如此，今天的大会也是如此。中国同样有着深厚的崇尚和谐的文化传统。在做善行善举之时，中国从来都是当仁不让。中国将在未来进一步推动建设和谐世界的进程中更加努力，勇为其先。最后，让我用首届世界佛教论坛普陀山宣言中的一句话结束今天的发言：只要我们心多有和谐之想，亦常存向善之念，做和谐之典范，行慈悲之教化，则人类可心心相印，世界必欣欣向荣。谢谢大家。
Thank you very much for China. Next, I would like to call upon Her Excellency Baswati Mukherjee, Ambassador, Permanent Delegate, Permanent Delegation of India to UNESCO. Madam, floor for you now.
Dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I have the honor to deliver the following message on behalf of the government and people of India on the occasion of the 2550th anniversary of the Buddha. My government attaches the greatest importance to this commemoration. Ever since the 5th century BC, Buddha has been the light of Asia, a spiritual teacher whose teaching has shed its radiance over a vast area. The Buddha's sublime personality has given birth to a whole civilization guided by lofty ethical and humanitarian ideals, to a vibrant spiritual tradition that has ennobled the lives of millions with a vision of man's highest potential. His graceful figure is a centerpiece of magnificent achievements in all the arts, in literature, in painting, in sculpture and architecture. For India, my country, the Buddha is an outstanding representation of our religious traditions. He left his footprints on the soil of India and his mark on the soul of my country. While the teaching of the Buddha assumed distinctive forms in other countries of the world, in conformity with their own traditions, in India, the home of the Buddha, it has entered into and become an integral part of our culture. The Brahmanas and the Sramanas were treated alike by the Buddha, and the two traditions gradually blended. In a sense, the Buddha is a maker of modern Hinduism. 50 years ago to this day, writing the foreword to Government of India publication commemorating the 2500th anniversary of Buddha, Dr. Radhakrishnan, eminent philosopher and India's second president, who played an active role in the founding of UNESCO, said, and I quote, "Occasionally humanity, after an infinite number of gropings, creates itself, realizes the purposes of its experience in one great character, and then again loses itself in the all too slow process of dissolution." The Buddha aimed at the development of a new type of free man, free from prejudice, intent on working out his own future with one's self as one's light. Unquote. The primary appeal of Buddhism was to the dignity of man, not to the glory of God. In a sense, Buddhism is primarily a humanistic philosophy. Buddhist humanism makes an individual the master of his own destiny. On his deathbed, when asked by his followers as to whom they should follow when he was gone, the Buddha replied, quote, "Be ye a lamp unto yourselves, work out your own salvation with diligence." Unquote. Today, the chaotic condition of world affairs reflects the chaos in our souls. History has become universal in spirit. Its subject matter is neither Europe nor Asia, neither East nor West, but humanity in all lands and ages. In spite of political divisions, the world is one, whether we like it or not. The fortunes of everyone are linked up with those of others, but we are suffering from an exhaustion of spirit, an increase of egoism, individual and collective, which seem to make the ideal of world society too difficult to achieve. Addressing an event organized to commemorate the 2500th anniversary of Mahaparinirvana of Lord Buddha, held earlier in India, inaugurated by our Prime Minister and attended by several leading Buddhist monks and scholars, Dr. Kapila Vatsayan, India's member of the UNESCO Executive Board and a leading proponent of the whole philosophy of Buddhism, said, quote, "Today, nation-states with both ancient and young civilizations and humanity at large have experienced both extraordinary material achievements as also unprecedented suffering. There have been conflicts and battles, confrontations and tension between regions, peoples and ideologies. Suffering has increased. Never before in human civilization have human civilization stood not at a mere crossroads, but at the brink of either taking a leap into the highest ascensions of man's consciousness or plunging deep into the abyss of no return. It is here that Buddha's message, at that moment of physical passing, the parinirvana to his disciples, especially Anand, was so meaningful then and is even more meaningful now." Unquote. Modern society seems to have aggravated rather than lessened the need for mental purification and calm. The pace of change has quickened and external pressure on individuals has increased. Despite the tremendous advances humankind has made in science and technology, advances that have so dramatically improved living conditions in many ways, we still find ourselves confronted with global problems that mock our most determined attempts to solve them within established frameworks. The issue is how to internalize this message of the Buddha. The Buddhist doctrine spoke of the middle path of moderation, of eschewing excessiveness of polarities, and propounded the principles of Shila, which the late Jawaharlal Nehru advocated in social and political practice, and the adherence to moral and ethical values and conduct. Compassion, altruism, and love can transform and rejuvenate if only we pause to reflect on the perennial verities and not leave humanity to be caught in the swirling whirlpools of ephemeral assertion. World peace is within our grasp, but not without the sacrifice of the self-centered, the self, the individual. Each sentiment being, as we have been told, the potential to attain that state of Buddha Krita, where the inner state of reflection can be balanced with an outer life of action. Can this be the beginning of a journey of renewal and rejuvenation for liberation here and now on this earth and in this life? Nirvana, emancipation from the so muchness of bondage and suffering of our own making? There is still time. To quote Shanti Dev, who said, quote, "If I do not exchange my happiness for the suffering of others, I shall not attain the state of Buddhahood, and even in Shamsar, I shall have no real joy. All the pain that exists in the world, all the terror and misery to be found, originates from the self-cherishing attitude. What other ghosts need to be exorcised?" Thank you. Namaskar.
I thank you very much, Madam, for your excellent statement. Thank you. Next, I would like to call upon His Excellency Seiichi Kondo, Ambassador and Permanent Delegation of Japan to UNESCO.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure for me to be with you today to celebrate the 2550th anniversary of the Buddha. My government commends the organizers for holding such a timely meeting at the right moment when efforts for peace are needed more than ever, and at the right place, namely UNESCO, the objective of which is to build the defenses of peace in the minds of men. As you know, Buddhism is deeply embedded in the hearts and minds of Japanese people. Buddhism was first introduced to Japan from China via the Korean Peninsula in the mid-6th century. The history of Buddha in Japan is extremely rich and broad. To recount it entirely would take many Sundays, so I will just touch two aspects of this magnificent story, these being the strength of human passion and the human quest for peace of mind. First, strength of human passion. Please bear with me as I depart on a small tangent. When I first encountered the murals of Lascaux in southern France, I was instantly struck by the depiction of animals such as cows and deer, painted in rich hues of red, black, and dark brown on the wall. I immediately asked myself why the Aurignacian people were compelled to produce such magnificent paintings given the difficult conditions of their life, harsh weather, hunger, thirst, and the fear of wild animals. I realized that human beings yearn to express and share their sentiments, love, joy, fear, reverence for divinity, with others in an artistic manner, regardless of their difficult lives. It was exactly this sort of strong human passion which brought Buddhism to Japan. Monks, both Japanese and non, contributed to the dissemination of Buddhism from the Asian continent to Japan. One of the most famous was a monk who helped to propagate Buddhism to Japan and went by the name Ganjin or Jianzhen. It is said that he attempted to come to Japan 8 times. Despite his long determination, Jianzhen's many attempts to make the long journey failed because of harsh weather and disaccord with others. During these unfortunate trials and tribulations, Jianzhen lost his eyesight and became totally blind. But Jianzhen did not give up. And in the year 753, he finally made it after more than 10 long years of attempt. It was the same irresistible desire to express and share their passion with others, as was seen in Lascaux's murals, that drove Jianzhen and numerous number of other monks to take part in this dissemination of Buddhism in Japan. Humans always struggle for peace of mind, and Buddhism contributed to Japanese people's aspiration for finding and establishing stable forms in which they achieve peace of mind. Stories and statues of the Buddha and recounting of sutra give real comfort to the people of Japan. The basic philosophy of Buddhism resonates Japanese mind, who loves tranquility and nature. Religion is often considered the sources of conflict. Indeed, we have witnessed many wars and strife in the name of religion. But in fact, it is not religion, but politics, money, and factionalism that are the generators of such conflict. Kyogen is a famous comic theater in Japan. There is one kyogen entitled Shuron, or religious disputes, that demonstrates the peaceful nature of Buddhism and conveys the message that mutual understanding and peaceful coexistence is possible. This is a story about two monks that represent two different Buddhist sects. They had been traveling across Japan together when one day they discovered that they belonged to two different schools. Immediately they began quarreling, each insisting that their sect was the only genuine one. The dispute lasted an entire day, and they began recounting their own sutra louder and louder. They became so excited that they started dancing. After some time, they suddenly realized that they were recounting sutra of the other sect, and recognized that, after all, they were serving the same Buddha. They restored their friendship and continued their journey as friends. This is no more than a small piece of a comic theater, but it tells a lot. Different religions merely represent different forms of quest for peace of mind that exist in all human beings. Ladies and gentlemen, these 2 points tell us that human passions to express and share their values with others and their desire for peace of mind are at the heart of art and culture, and these works of human mind spread across borders with the help of people. Therefore, cultures do not live in isolation, they interact. Ferdinand Braudel, a renowned French historian, says, living civilization must be able not only to give, but to receive and borrow. More than 750 years ago, a Japanese monk who learned Zen Buddhism built Tofukuji Temple in Kyoto. Even today, the birthday of the Chinese teacher of this monk is being celebrated in Tofukuji Temple every April. Although Zen has faded out in China, it not only survived in Japan, but developed into more sophisticated school of Buddhism, eventually finding its way to the West. And yet, the first Zen temple of Japan pays due respect to the ancient Chinese monk. One Chinese intellectual who visited Tofukuji was deeply moved by this fact and brought home this wonderful story. This shows that cultural exchange is not a one-way street. Cultural exchange is reciprocal over the centuries. This cultural reciprocity creates universality. Or perhaps it is that universality is inherent in culture, making it open to reciprocity and development through interaction with other cultures. I would like to conclude my message by providing an example that demonstrates the universality of culture and religion. Buddhist ceremonial music called shomyo was recently played in a Russian church in St. Petersburg. It echoed in the hearts of people in Russia, just like the Gregorian choir, and became a huge success. Who would have imagined that Buddhist ceremonial music performed in a Christian church would enchant so many people as it did? This demonstrates that although a cultural expression may seem to be particular to one culture, it can still contain elements of universality. Ladies and gentlemen, on this occasion of celebrating Buddha's anniversary, I wholeheartedly hope that we will contemplate on what we can do to construct the defenses of peace in the minds of men, which appears in the Constitution of UNESCO, because the search for peace is a theme that we have had for 2,550 years. Thank you very much.
I thank you very much, Your Excellency, your statement on behalf of Japan. Next, I would like to call upon Mr. Chung Suk Koo, Deputy Permanent Delegate, Permanent Delegation of the Republic of Korea to UNESCO.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the permanent delegation of the Republic of Korea, I would like to express the warmest congratulations on this important celebration of the 2550th anniversary of the Buddha. I would also like to convey my appreciation for all those who collaborated in the preparation of this event, and in particular, World Fellowship of Buddhists and World Buddhist University, Pure and Learning College and Delegation of Thailand. Korea is a country rich in its religious diversity, including Buddhism, Protestant, and Catholics, and others. Buddhism has been the oldest religion amongst all. Since Buddhism was first introduced to Korea around the 4th century, it has exercised a far-reaching influence in Korean society, culture, and art. Buddhism was adopted as a national religion during the period of ancient and medieval kingdoms of Goryeo, Baekje, Silla, and Goryeo dynasty, and it played a vital role in maintaining peace, social cohesion, and unity of the dynasties throughout the Korean history. Modern Korean Buddhism involves more than 10 million devotees, which represent roughly 22% of total population. The overarching influence and presence of Buddhism in every aspect, every sphere of life, produced many invaluable historical monuments, temples, and art pieces. Some are inscribed on the World Heritage List of UNESCO, namely Seokguram, Bulguksa, Haeinsa Temple, which is famous for its wood blocks containing the entire teachings of Buddha, called Tripitaka Koreana. Derived from the Buddha's enlightenment and teachings of wisdom, the fundamental principles of Buddhism are based on compassion for others, sacrifice, charity for those in need, consolation for those in distress, reconciliation, tolerance, and promotion of harmony and peace for all. Such a message of Buddha corresponded to the constitutional mandate of UNESCO in promoting peace and security by advancing universal respect for justice, the human right, and the fundamental freedom, and by furthering the mutual knowledge and understanding of peoples. as in the most repeated and quoted phrase in the Constitution of UNESCO, for the origin of wars and the defenses of peace, according to Buddhism, we are what we think. All that we are arises with our thought. With our thought, we make our world. I am persuaded that this celebration of the 2550th anniversary of the Buddha will serve the occasion for all of us to reflect and meditate on his teachings and wisdom on the world of peace, harmony, and spirit of cooperation, and to rekindle the light for reconciliation and love for the mankind. I wish every success to this celebration and wish all participants for enriching and inspiring discussions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chung Sok-koo, your statement on behalf of Republic of Korea. Thank you. Next, I would like to call upon His Excellency Kamaling New Wan Sin Won, Permanent Delegation of Lao People's Democratic Republic to UNESCO. Ambassador.
Vénérables, Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, chers amis, en ce jour du 2550e anniversaire du Bouddha, il nous est très agréable de vous dire combien nous sommes heureux de nous associer à la cérémonie et à la célébration de cet anniversaire. Nous saluons l'heureuse initiative prise par le World Fellowship of Buddhists pour organiser cette cérémonie au siège de l'UNESCO, la Maison de la Paix. Nous tenons à lui exprimer nos sincères félicitations et nous tenons également à remercier Dr Thammaratna ainsi que Dr Priyanut Charya Vietnananon pour l'efficacité avec laquelle ils ont organisé cette excellente cérémonie pour commémorer l'anniversaire du grand maître. Nous saluons la présence d'éminents spécialistes du bouddhisme ainsi que les représentants d'autres traditions religieuses dans le monde, donnant ainsi à cette cérémonie un excellent éclat spirituel et une faveur partagée. J'insiste sur le mot partagé. Le bouddhisme est arrivé au Laos par le Cambodge, notre voisin, hérité de la tradition bouddhiste du Myanmar, qui est venu de Sri Lanka, notre frère et notre plus proche de tous les amis du bouddhisme. C'est vous dire que le bouddhisme est arrivé au Laos par la voie maritime, à la différence du Mahayana qui est parti vers la voie terrestre en passant par la route de la soie. Ceci pour nous dire combien l'expansion du bouddhisme est importante, et depuis toujours. Et il continue. Même en Occident, maintenant, on reconnaît que c'est un courant de philosophie de la vie qui mérite d'être connu et, pour certains, pratiqué. Ça veut dire aussi que le bouddhisme, par son expansion, par son antérité, par son ouverture et sa tolérance, n'a pas d'ennemis. Le bouddhisme ne cherche que se faire des amis. Vous êtes tous ici en communion avec les uns et les autres C'est pourquoi, pour chercher ensemble ce qui est meilleur en nous-mêmes, c'est nous-mêmes. Donner à l'autre ce que nous avons de meilleur. Est-ce que la vie a un sens lorsque l'autre, le voisin est ton ennemi, celui qui vit sur le même palier que vous ne vous connaît pas? Je pense que c'est non. C'est la raison pour laquelle l'éducation, son ouverture, la reconnaissance de l'autre est très importante. Toujours le sourire aux lèvres en bouddhiste. Souvent, on me traite de débile, entre guillemets, parce que je salue tout le monde, je souris à tout le monde. C'est cela, le bouddhisme tel que je le conçois. C'est pour vous dire aussi que le bouddhisme s'accommode à toutes les circonstances. Quand on connaît l'histoire de la Chine, de la Corée, de l'Asie du Sud-Est, l'Asie connaît ce bouddhisme qui accepte tout le monde, parce que Bouddha a toujours prêché dans les campagnes. C'est aussi une des raisons qui nous guide vers les autres, parce que les gens qui vivent dans les zones rurales, ils n'ont pas d'ennemis. La nature leur donne ce que l'homme a besoin. Hier, pas plus tard qu'hier, un de nos éminents intervenants disait que les plantes poussent ensemble. Il n'y a que des racines qui s'entrecroisent, mais ils se disputent pas la place. C'est cela, c'est l'enseignement du Bouddha. Le bouddhisme fait partie de la culture du Laos. Le changement politique dans mon pays n'a jamais enterré la ferveur bouddhiste. Nous continuons à pratiquer le bouddhisme. Le bouddhisme fait partie de l'âme de notre peuple. Il est dans notre culture. Il est également porteur de cette empreinte. Nous parlons de l'art ce matin et la littérature. L'art laotien et la littérature laotienne portent cette empreinte du bouddhisme. L'enseignement du Bouddha est ancré depuis toujours dans l'esprit de notre peuple. Je voudrais dire par là que c'est l'esprit de paix, de solidarité et d'harmonie qui est dans notre cœur. Et nous continuons à le porter. Chacun de nous, en tant que bouddhiste, doit porter cette lumière qui est l'enseignement du Bouddha. Cette lumière ne doit pas s'éteindre. Même si la bougie est pleinement consommée, nous devons continuer à porter cette bougie en nous. J'ai parlé de paix, de solidarité et d'harmonie. C'est de cela qu'il s'agit. L'enseignement du Bouddha est ancré dans l'esprit de mon peuple. Je veux dire que la paix, faut-il le rappeler, engendre l'harmonie et la sécurité. Sans la paix et l'harmonie, l'humanité continue et continuera à souffrir. C'est pour cette raison que l'enseignement du Bouddha est si actuel et vital. Dans le monde dominé par l'insatiable désir, le tanha, le fameux tanha, il est en chacun de nous. Et la soif de puissance. Peut-on supprimer les usines d'armement pour supprimer la guerre? Je pense que c'est un peu difficile à imaginer. Et surtout, le monde actuel est dominé par la haine. Je termine mon message pour dire tout simplement que cette communion et ce dialogue entre bouddhistes et non-bouddhistes aujourd'hui soit la première marche de l'échelle qui nous amènera vers la paix, la compréhension mutuelle et l'amitié entre les peuples. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur l'Ambassadeur, votre aimable parole et pour la déclaration. Merci. Next, I would like to call upon His Excellency Mr. Radna Basaria, Ambassador and a permanent delegation of Mongolia to UNESCO. Is there anyone in this seat? In hall? No. So I would like to call upon His Excellency U Swa Hua Min, Ambassador, permanent delegation of the Union of Myanmar to UNESCO. Your Excellency, now floor for you.
Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure and honor to welcome the celebration of the 2550th anniversary of the Buddha Sakyamuni, and also to convey deep thanks to the World Fellowship of Buddha to celebrate this important event at UNESCO headquarters in joint collaboration with the permanent delegation of Thailand to UNESCO, Buddhist member state to UNESCO, the World Fellowship of Buddhists, the World Buddhist University, and Pure Land Learning College of Australia. Myanmar, with about 92% of the Buddhist population, sustains and follows the teaching of the Buddha through ages. Over 500,000 monks, novices, and nuns are being on supply with the 4 kinds of requisite, and over 50,000 monasteries and over 3,000 nunneries are also standing as a symbol of Myanmar people's devotion to the teachings of the Buddha. From Bagan period, 11th century to 13th century, to the present time, the flourishment of the scriptural learning and meditation take place due to the 3 prolonged cooperation of government or ruler, people, and members of the order. As Buddhism is more than a doctrine, but a way of life, those wishing to witness living Buddhism, to practice genuine Buddhist meditation and may research on Buddhism will be assisted in every way on their visit to Myanmar by the Ministry of Religious Affairs. Original Buddha Dhamma has been preserved in pristine purity by the 2 great Buddhist councils held in the past, one in 1871 in Mandalay and the other in 1956 in Yangon. As a gesture of the World Buddhist Community cooperation for the purpose of purification, perpetuation, and propagation of Buddha's teachings, the World Buddhist Summit 2004 was successfully convened at Kabae, Yangon, Myanmar. And Myanmar ongoing cooperation in Buddhism, which other Theravadins and Mahayanas countries are much advanced. Myanmar, while providing for Theravada Buddhist way of life and efforts in liberation for its citizens, will continue to disseminate the teachings of Buddha to those abroad with the good intention and performance of Dhamma gift. May you be happy and joyous. Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur l'Ambassadeur, votre déclaration au nom du peuple Myanmar. Merci. Next, I would like to call upon Mr. Niranjan Man Singh Basnayat,
Chargé d'Affaires,
Permanent Delegation of the Kingdom of Nepal to UNESCO.
Excellencies, distinguished colleagues, distinguished delegates at this anniversary celebration, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. First of all, as a representative of the country where Lord Buddha was born, I would like to express my sincere thanks to all the organizers of this beautiful event, World Fellowship of Buddhists, the World Buddhist University, Pure Land Learning College, as well as UNESCO and the Permanent Delegation of Thailand to UNESCO. Please accept my sincere greetings to everybody on this occasion on behalf of the Government of Nepal of the celebration of 2550th anniversary of Buddha in UNESCO, in which we have gathered here to talk about peace. There are two parts of my message. One, the beautiful story of Buddha's birth in my country, and two, peace in the contemporary world. The story all you know, but I would like to tell you in a different way. Lumbini, the birthplace of Lord Buddha, situated some 300 kilometers southwest of the Nepalese capital, Kathmandu. Lumbini, the birthplace of Buddha, is the first and foremost site of pilgrimage among the Chatu Mahasthana. Buddha was born in 623 before Christ as a prince at this place. According to legends, he was conceived when his mother Queen Mayadevi dreamed that a white elephant had entered her body. On a full moon day of Baisakh, Mayadevi, while going to her maternal home in Devadaha, passed through Lumbini, where she bathed in the pond of Sakya, Pushkarini, and soon after gave birth to a son. Buddha also had his first bath in this pond. It is said that the newborn stood up, strode 7 paces, and said, I quote, I am the foremost of all the creatures to cross the riddle of the ocean of existence. I have come to the world to show the path of emancipation. This is my last birth, and hereafter I will not born again, unquote. 7 days after Siddhartha's birth, his mother Mayadevi died. His father Suddhodan married Mayadevi's sister Prajapati, who brought up the boy. The primary attraction of Lumbini is the sacred garden where Buddha was born. The sacred pool of Pushkarini lies in this garden. Another monument of importance is the stone image of Mayadevi, better known as the Nativity sculpture, dated 4th century by archaeologists. The first Asian Secretary General of United Nations, U Thant, who was from Myanmar, visited Lumbini in 1967. His visit was a milestone in developing Lumbini as an international tourist and pilgrimage center. Shortly after his visit, an international committee to help for the development of Lumbini was formed in 1970 at the UN headquarters. Professor Kenjo Tange of Japan was assigned the task of designing a master plan, which was finalized in 1978. After the formation of Lumbini Trust in 1985, the implementation of the master plan has been successfully carried out. The government of Nepal has envisaged an international airport and establishment of an international Buddhist university near Lumbini. This holy place of pilgrimage of the Buddhists all over the world has been inscribed in the UNESCO's World Heritage Sites. The government of Nepal is making every effort to make Lumbini a world-class pilgrimage and tourist center for the people all over the world. May I take this opportunity at this 2550th anniversary celebration of Buddha to urge all the governments, NGOs, civil society, private sector and individuals to contribute to the development of Lumbini, birthplace of greatest messenger of peace. Buddha and peace in the contemporary world. No religion on earth preaches war, battle, conflict and violence. Buddha said to all human beings, I quote, "Don't even think of violence in your mind. Don't think of any ills to other people. That is also a form of violence. Don't even kill an insect or animal." Unquote. Buddha already knew the importance of biodiversity and coexistence among all creatures. Then why human beings are ready to kill one another? Buddha's four noble truths have become more and more relevant in present-day world than ever before. Now we are facing the challenge of eliminating nuclear weapons and other types of weapons of mass destruction which can wipe out whole of humanity from the surface of the world. Furthermore, there are other deadly conventional weapons being used every day in our world. On our TV screens, we see every day old people, women, children being killed, visually in front of our eyes. Toys of war like pistols, guns, tanks, and other war toys are sold every day to teach the children the arts of war. In the internet, you can learn how to make a bomb. Is this a civilization we envisaged for the 21st century? This type of culture brings violence, and violence multiplies into violence. This is a thriving business of export. There is a thriving business of export and import of weapons. On the other hand, terrorism is increasing worldwide. How to stop all this? Organizations including UNESCO, which are involved in this celebration event, can work in this direction. I think first we have to identify the enemies of peace. Then only we can work for the promotion of peace. If we can stop even a small conflict, this would be a great homage and tribute to Buddha. Let us all contribute to the world peace and compassion. UNESCO has several programs to promote the culture of peace. I urge all delegates and educationists to incorporate the curriculum of peace education in all levels of education, from kindergarten to the university levels. What a coincidence today. I am advocating for world peace here. Our Prime Minister Girija Prasad Koirala and rebel leader Prachanda are sitting to finalize peace accord today to bring peace in my country, which is affected by a decade of insurgency and violence. Let us all pray for peace in Nepal, land of Buddha. I ask for your forgiveness if there was any mistake on my part, because it is the first philosophical statement I ever made in my whole life. I would like to thank you all for having patience and listening to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Niranjan, your statement on behalf of the people of Nepal. Thank you very much. Next, I would like to call upon Her Excellency Mrs. Chitrangani Vagiswara, Ambassador, Permanent Delegate, Permanent Delegation of Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka to UNESCO. Madam, floor to you now.
Venerable members of the Mahasangha, the other members of the clergy, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. In 1998, the United Nations General Assembly adopted a resolution on international recognition of the Day of Vesak by the United Nations. This was an initiative taken by the former Foreign Minister of Sri Lanka, the late Lakshman Kadirgama, to accord to the Day of Vesak, the most important day for Buddhists the world over, its due recognition within the international community. This international recognition also indicates the acceptance of the contribution that the teachings of the Buddha have made to the understanding of our very existence, the understanding of our human family with all its diversity, and the promotion of peace and harmony amongst all peoples. Sri Lanka has always taken a keen interest and closely cooperated in the celebration of Vesak at the United Nations. Sri Lanka considers it a privilege and an opportunity, therefore, to be present here today on this occasion of the 2550th anniversary celebration of the Buddha at UNESCO. On behalf of the government of Sri Lanka, I wish to thank the World Fellowship of Buddhists, the World Buddhist University, the Pure Land Learning College, and the permanent delegation of Thailand to UNESCO for arranging this event. The teachings of the Buddha have become more relevant in the world we live in today than ever before. It is fitting, therefore, that the Buddha and his teachings are celebrated in the larger context of world peace and harmony, as Buddhism is based on the principles of equality among all peoples and respect for all human beings. The importance and relevance of these principles in today's world cannot be overemphasized. It is indeed fitting that this celebration is being held at UNESCO, which has the cross-cutting mandate to study and promote a dialogue among all civilizations and intercultural understanding to spread the message of peace and tolerance. Let us hope and pray that the teachings of the Buddha will guide us in our endeavors at all times. May peace be upon you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your statement on behalf of Sri Lanka and people of Sri Lanka. Thank you. Next, I would like to call upon Dr. Priyanudjarya Vidyanong, Deputy Permanent Delegate, on behalf of His Excellency Mr. Thana Duanggaratna, Ambassador, Permanent Delegate, the Kingdom of Thailand to UNESCO. Madam, floor you now.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to convey the message of Dr. Thanas Duanggarat, Ambassador of Thailand. I am very pleased that the Buddhism has been established as a very important religion of the world for the time of 2,550 years in 2006. As a Buddhist and the representative of the Kingdom of Thailand, I would express my sincere thanks to the World Fellowship of Buddhists, World Buddhist University, Pure Land Learning College, for playing the major role in supporting the Buddhism and for create ethic peace of the community. As you know, Thailand is the country of the most of its people. About 90% believe in Buddhism. By these reasons, our way of life has been following the Dhamma, the teaching of the Lord Buddha. The inspirations of the Dhamma principle could be seen in overall mainstreaming and agendas of the Thai national development. Politics, social, and culture has regarded the Dhamma to be one significant frame to be integrated in administrative lines. For example, the Department of Religious Affairs, Ministry of Culture, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Economics organized the official ceremony concerning Buddhism in many occasions. Thailand has one sector to taking care of the religious affairs. That is the Department of Religious Affairs under the Office of Prime Minister. It has been playing the most important role to sustain the Lord Buddha's principles and teachings. Thai Buddhist University in Bangkok has been accredited and recognized among the Buddhist communities and organizations. It offers higher education with particular curriculum for monks who wish to obtain a bachelor degree. Obviously, the practice of Thai monk is world recognition as to give light to all humanitarians. The witness is that the UNESCO awards an eminent Buddha Bhikkhu of his best practice in Buddhism. I would like to take these occasions of 2550th anniversaries of the Lord Buddha to let the people of the world know that his Dhamma and teachings lead the goodness to not only Buddhists, but also the valuable goodness to the whole world, which help promote the peace and happiness among the nations. I believe that Dhamma and teachings of the Lord Buddha is similar to the other religions, which has promoted consciousness and intelligence to all the people in order to respond to the new change of globalization. The philosophies of Buddha has been applied in Thai kingdom. As Thailand is the country of Buddhism, so the way of life of Thai people reflects the Buddhism's value. In all aspects, our king is a Buddhist who has strongly belief in Dhamma and teaching of the Lord Buddha. He used such principles in governing the country. Particularly, the key principle is called adequacy economy. In Buddhist, we call middle path. It reflects the core of teaching of the Lord Buddha. The philosophy of adequacy economy by middle paths suggests to Thai people to realize a selective way of sustainable and quality of life under the pressure of globalization, and to having consciousness and intelligence without disturbing other people and living with peace. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to inform you that UN Award in Human Development Lifetime Achievement conferred to our King, the King of Thailand, this year. It is witness of the value of international community. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to express my pleasure again to the success of the ceremony of the 2550th anniversary of Buddhism. This activity should be of most important to promote the cooperation and peace in the world of all religions, sects, and national, which only Dhamma would help the people of the world with suitable and sustainable goals. Thank you very much.
I thank you very much, Madam, your message on behalf of the Kingdom of Thailand. Thank you. Next, I would like to call upon His Excellency Mr. Wu Duk Tam, Ambassador and Permanent Delegation of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam to UNESCO.
Vénérables, Excellences, Mesdames, Mesdemoiselles, Messieurs, parce que je suis le dernier Permettez-moi tout d'abord de m'associer aux orateurs qui m'ont précédé pour exprimer mon grand honneur, ma grande joie de participer à cette célébration importante de l'anniversaire du Bouddha. Cet anniversaire, qualifié par l'UNESCO de fête religieuse de portée mondiale, a été également célébré en grande pompe dans notre pays, le Vietnam. Ce forum se tient en fin de semaine. Et vous savez qu'en dehors, il fait beau. Dans la salle, vous êtes nombreux. Cela prouve que le bouddhisme, le Bouddha, nous intéresse, nous attire vraiment et que le choix du sujet est vraiment pertinent. Je tiens à féliciter les organisateurs pour le succès de ce forum et je souhaite que le forum continue d'être couronné de succès pour le reste du temps. Je profite de cette occasion qui m'est offerte pour vous dire quelques mots sur le bouddhisme au Vietnam. Au Vietnam, le bouddhisme est une religion très répandue. Plus de 50% de la population s'en réclame. Le bouddhisme a été introduit très tôt au Vietnam et immédiatement il a reçu l'approbation totale, presque totale, de la population vietnamienne. Il a réalisé une fusion avec les éléments d'autres cultes, le culte des ancêtres, le culte des génies. C'est comme ça que le bouddhisme a eu un ancrage populaire très profond au Vietnam, à tel point que pour désigner le Bouddha en vietnamien, en dehors de l'appellation officielle Phật Đà ou Phật tout court, nous avons encore une autre appellation très populaire, c'est Bouddha. Bouddha est connu de tous les Vietnamiens et Bouddha est un immortel très doux. Il fait son apparition quand on a besoin de son assistance. Quelles sont les influences bouddhiques au Vietnam? Je pourrais dire que le Vietnam se situe sur la grande route de pèlerinage entre l'Inde et la Chine. C'est comme ça que la plupart des lettrés vietnamiens de l'ancienne époque étaient en même temps des moines bouddhistes. Et ces moines bouddhistes connaissaient parfaitement et le chinois et le sanskrit. Ces lettrés moines bouddhistes, les seuls détenteurs véritables du savoir au Vietnam, à cette époque, ont beaucoup aidé le pouvoir. Beaucoup d'entre eux ont tenu des postes politiques importants et ont servi de conseillers au roi. En revanche, les souverains vietnamiens, des croyants sincères et conscients du rôle que le bouddhisme pourrait jouer dans l'union nationale. C'est comme ça que les souverains encouragent montrer leur sympathie, leur générosité vers le bouddhisme. Ils participent même très régulièrement à des cérémonies dans les pagodes. L'un d'eux, le roi Chen Tong, après avoir abdiqué, a fondé la secte Thiền Trúc Lâm, la forêt des bambous, Zen, forêt des bambous. Et en pratique, cette secte du roi a réunifié toutes les tendances de Zen et aussi réunifié toutes les écoles bouddhiques dans le pays. En un mot, le bouddhisme au Vietnam a contribué à l'édification du pays, à l'union nationale. C'est une des forces permettant l'indépendance et la consolidation de l'État. Le bouddhisme a laissé des empreintes profondes dans presque tous les domaines au Vietnam, social, culturel, architectural. Et au Vietnam, si vous venez au Vietnam, l'image des pagodes, des tours bouddhiques sont familières, habituelles du paysage vietnamien. Les enseignements du Bouddha ont plus ou moins forgé la pensée et le comportement des Vietnamiens. Vous savez, le Vietnam, au Vietnam, il y a la présence de toutes les grandes religions du monde. Le bouddhisme, le confucianisme, le protestantisme, l'islam, etc. S'ajoutant à cela, il y a aussi des religions localement nées, comme caodaïsme, Hoa Hao. C'est pas tellement facile. À côté de cela, le Vietnam est un pays multi-ethnique. Il y a 54 ethnies. Et dans l'histoire, nous avons eu des contacts volontaires et des fois forcés avec beaucoup d'autres cultures venant de l'Orient et de l'Occident. Dans ce contexte complexe, comment peut-on réagir pour non seulement exister, mais aussi se développer? Donc, chez nous, c'est précisément la pratique quotidienne du dialogue entre les religions, le dialogue interreligieux et interculturel. C'est la tolérance religieuse, c'est la souplesse et la grande capacité d'adaptation des Vietnamiens. C'est grâce à tout cela qu'au Vietnam, il n'y a pas de guerre de religion. Et 54 ethnies cohabitent pacifiquement. Chacune garde sa culture, ses spécificités, tout en s'ouvrant aux autres. Nous avons pu sélectionner et puis intégrer ce qui nous convient des cultures étrangères à la nôtre. C'est comme ça que la culture vietnamienne, loin d'être assimilée, s'est retrouvée, renforcée, enrichie. Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, permettez-moi de vous livrer une expérience personnelle. Quand j'étais jeune, une fois, j'ai échoué à un examen. J'ai beaucoup souffert. Et pour moi, c'était la fin. Tout était fini. J'ai perdu le sommeil, j'ai perdu l'appétit. Et j'ai prié le Bouddha à me venir en aide. Et enfin, ce n'est pas le Bouddha, mais c'est ma mère qui est venue à mes côtés, me disant ceci. Mon fils, ne cherche pas ailleurs le Bouddha. Le Bouddha se trouve pas loin. Il est en toi, dans ton cœur. Que tu sois heureux ou malheureux dépend exclusivement de toi. Mon fils, tâche d'agir de parler et de penser positivement. Tu trouveras le vrai bonheur. J'ai beaucoup réfléchi. Et puis en fin de compte, j'ai bien compris les paroles de ma mère. Je les mets en pratique. Et puis, j'ai réussi dans la vie. Donc, depuis ce jour-là, ces paroles maternelles imprégnées de pensées bouddhiques m'ont suivi partout, jusqu'à nos jours, à ce moment même où je vous parle. Et je voudrais les partager avec vous. Merci de votre attention.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur l'Ambassadeur. Votre message au nom de Vietnam et le peuple vietnamien. Merci encore. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor and pleasure to me to see you are all here, to show your moral and diplomatic and intellectual solidarity with the Buddhist world. Buddhist world always conscious your presence here at UNESCO. During these 2 days, more than 1,500 people are here. They have shown their commitment to the Buddhism and also to work for the world peace. The second day of this celebration, your presence here, really I don't know how to express our happiness as I am a member of the organizing committee. So I hope your cooperation and understanding and solidarity will extend to continue our mission, not only at UNESCO and all over the world, for the developed message of the Buddha. Merci beaucoup encore. Thank you very much. I have a very small message to you to extend here. The organizing committee wishes to have a group photo with these 5 members of the host organization to record our historical event at the House of World Culture at UNESCO. Would you please kindly, if you come here, we can have a group photo here. After that, after first picture. Would you please come here? Most venerable, Madam Preenut, Dr. Preenut, how we can to present gift now? Mr. David, please come here. We have some souvenir to Master Venerable Chingkong going to present for the whole countries. First of all, I would like to call upon to Cambodia to get souvenir from Most Venerable Chingkung of Australia. Yes. To Cambodia, please, Mr. David. Please give a big hand. Next, I would like to call upon represent Mr. Pi Yong. He's from China. Yes, please come to the podium. Give a big hand. Next, I would like to call upon a representative from Indian delegation. Please come to the podium. Next, I will call upon Japan. Your Excellency. Next, I will call upon Korea. Your Excellency. Next, I will call upon Laos. Your Excellency. Next, I will call upon Myanmar. Your Excellency. Next, I will call upon Nepal. Next, I will call upon Sri Lanka. Next, I will call upon Thailand. Last, I will call upon Vietnam, Your Excellency. Thank you very much for your presence here. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you.